You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Cult of Campbell versus Ash versus the Evil Dead. I'm Eric.
I'm Ben. This is season 1, episode 10, the season 1 finale.
Yes, entitled The Dark One.
The Dark One. That's
yes,
right.
Written by Craig. Oh, I should really read these ahead of time.
Oh boy, let's take a look.
See what you think.
Greg. Oh yeah, you can fuck right off with that. We're gonna call him Greg Didgeridoo.
Greg Didgeridoo.
There
Thank
we
you,
go.
Thank you.
Guys, look it up. Like, you can correct us if you want.
Yep.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
I can't pronounce that.
Oh, sometimes usually I give it a shot, but I looked at that and I was like, oh, fuck, Craig.
Yeah,
man.
like the ether. You
Sorry.
just, yeah, right. Like, if Craig, if you ever hear this, like out in the ether somewhere, dude, like,
Oh, I'm
damn.
sorry. Great job with the.
yeah,
Yeah,
you managed to do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But that last name, though.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
Directed by Rick Jacobson.
see, now that's a respectable last name.
There we go. That's a pretty good last.
His
name.
parents loved him and changed that shit.
They made sure it wasn't.
It's like, we're not getting our kids.
Oh my god. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get right into the episode.
Right on.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
So this starts us. They're in the cabin.
Yep.
What's her name? The lady that I absolutely hate.
Oh, the detective.
The detective.
Amanda.
She's still impaled. Amanda. There we go.
Yes.
She's
still impaled.
still impaled.
Right.
And
Uh,
well, no, because we watched 2 episodes.
Oh, we did. You're right. Oh, and that kind of confused me because I needed a recap.
Right.
I hadn't seen the episode preceding. So what I've got is, let's see, in the plot. Okay, it does say before Ash can react to what's going on, Amanda returns and attacks him. So,
That's right.
yeah. So it's just because this episode was pretty action heavy. We just kind of zip right into it,
this
don't
episode just kind of launched right into it.
Yeah.
So Amanda's been turned into a deadite, which
Right.
thank God she's a lot more tolerable when they decide to actually make her the villain.
we? It was cool seeing her as a deadite. It was
And
really
we've got
cool.
the blonde hiker who is injured. She's
Oh,
in the
yeah.
cabin with
Her legs all fucked up, and she's in there with Kelly and Pablo.
Carly and Pablo.
Ash and Ruby's already in.
That's right. Ruby
Yes.
is there.
Yes, yeah, because this one just they're going into the cellar like almost right off
that's
the bat.
right. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
already. Yeah,
This
so
is
the
crazy. Yeah,
Right, that's how fast this episode was. Because I keep wanting to think it was one long episode, but it fucking wasn't.
right.
So Pablo's already got the mask
The
on.
mask on his face.
Right, Ruby's dragged him down into the
into the basement.
basement, and Ash is getting ready to go in after him.
Right, and he's trying to leave Kelly behind.
Right, Kelly's not having any of it. This new Kelly is a lot more interesting.
Ooh, yes, I really liked Kelly in this episode.
Yeah,
yeah,
like, god damn. Like, one of the things that, like, I have said, I think, consistently since we've started watching this thing, the writers know exactly what they're doing with Ash and the Deadites and the story they
Yes,
want to tell.
they definitely do.
Oh, fucking Christ. When Pablo and Kelly get by themselves without Ash, they're relegated to this fucking ridiculous, like, will they, won't they hook up plot. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
are walking around in the woods with firearms fighting demons. Can you do this lip kissing shit later? Like, what the actual hell
I
is going on with this
know.
writing?
I know. It's not very interesting. It's something that's done often in shows and stuff. The will they, won't they. It's, you know, I kind of made the point while we were watching it is that this franchise isn't exactly known for its nuance when it comes to writing. I
mean, sure.
but it feels very stock.
Right. For me, it
Yeah.
commits like the unforgivable sin of being boring.
Yeah, it is.
Like-
It makes us, just kind of waiting around for Ash to come back into the scene.
Right. But they seem to kind of not ditch it entirely in this episode.
Right.
Boy, they do a long way of establishing that that both of actually, I'll go ahead and say this for Pablo too.
Yeah.
They both are heading in a different direction.
Yes.
So
there's hope for these characters.
There is,
I like-
by
yeah.
God.
Yeah,
there
this
is.
episode gave it to us.
Right. This
Yeah.
this is the first glimmer of hope that I've had in this entire series that just maybe Kelly and Pablo will evolve past this ridiculous like loop they've got them in.
Right.
So Ash is going down and trying to get Kelly to leave him behind or trying with you. This chick's fine, and the blonde chick's just like, I'm not okay.
She's like, yeah, no, I'm not. She can barely walk around.
Right, and the choice is removed from him because Ash gets. I can't remember if he's sucked, pulled, pushed, or he straight up trips like an idiot.
The evil point of view rams the cabin.
That's
And
right,
he
and
went-
he
goes
he
tumbling
goes
in.
tumbling deep down in, and the cellar door slams shut,
Yes.
becomes unmovable as Kelly tries.
Yes.
They give us the flash. Ash is falling down and he's hitting the stairs, and that's when he goes into where Ruby offers him the first time she offers him this deal.
Yes. He's kind of like in this illusionary realm of his.
Yeah, it takes us all the way back to the first episode of the season where
Right.
he's smoking a doobie with this chick, and he's like, "I'm going to read you my poetry."
Yep.
Only Ash has finally pulled his head from his rectum and is like, "I'm not doing any of this."
Yeah.
And that's when Ruby shows up, and she offers him that if he just politely fucks off and ignores what's going on, she can reset the timeline, basically.
Yeah.
Send him, Pablo. Well, actually, she just offers
She's
it
just
to him.
offering it to him
Right,
for now.
to reset the last 10 years. He actually tries for
Tries
40.
to get 40. Yeah.
Tries to say 40, and she says 10.
Nah, 10.
And offers him a chance to reset everything, go back to Jacksonville, Florida, and just chill out the rest of his life. And Ash actually has some pretty, he has a moment where we think there's some character development. He's like, no, it's not just about my life anymore. Like, I can just kill you now. And the shotgun springs up, he shoots at her, and he like snaps out of it just in time to smack his head on the concrete.
Yep.
For the upteenth million time.
Right. And then we return to the basement under the cabin.
Yep.
As he starts to explore it.
Starts to explore, and they even show us the skeleton of the. I cannot. I'm not even
the dude with the bad teeth.
Bad teeth. He was. I believe. Was it in
overalls.
Evil Dead 1?
Was it? I think it was a 2. That
Maybe.
footage looked like
I
it
bet
was
it was
2.
2. Yeah, it's the dude that had. It was the hillbilly that was also the vet. He had the dog tags on him, and he gets pulled
That's
into
right.
the basement, and we never see him again. But in this, they actually show that his body's still down there, which was nice.
Right. Yeah. All decomposed and
it was-
dusty.
yep, It was a nice piece of continuity that they kept in. And normally I would kind of downgrade a thing for. So they show the skeleton, and then they show the clip of him being, the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Normally I deride this sort of thing because I think it's kind of treating your audience like an idiot, like they don't remember.
Right.
However, in this particular case, that movie was a long time ago.
Yes.
And it going to like Netflix and other things, you're going to have a lot of new audience.
Right.
So I don't fault them for that word. Normally I actually would.
I would agree. And actually, I think we're pretty good evidence of that because I believe you caught it before the flashback. They showed the body and you went, oh, it's so-and-so. And I was like, I don't know. And then they showed the clip and then I was like, oh, it's so-and-so.
Right, yeah.
So they did it for both of us.
I remember that he had dog tags and things like that. So
Right.
when they showed that on the corpse, I vaguely remember. But
yeah.
I think showing the clip in this thing
Right.
you have to recover. So it's not spoon feeding your audience as
Right.
much as they like to do that nowadays.
Yes.
But anyway, so they move on, and I think after it shows that skeleton, it flashes back to Kelly.
Right. And we start seeing what's going on up there.
And the blonde chick's just like, fuck these people. Why don't we just oft?
Right.
And Kelly just kind of slaps her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she slaps her because she starts hallucinating bugs crawling all
That's
over.
right. She hallucinates
Yeah.
that she has cockroaches coming out of her places.
Pants.
I listen. Normally, with most franchises, I would say pants. However, with Evil Dead,
Yeah.
I think it's
pretty
safe.
obvious.
Yeah,
That was the no square bugs. coming out.
they put things in places that they shouldn't be.
Yes.
So
they certainly
I'm
do.
going to go ahead and say that they were implying that they were coming out of her hoo-ha.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
she
She
freaks
freaks
out.
out.
So there's
Gets
one.
slapped.
So before that, there's
Okay.
several instances where the cabin's kind of fucking with them, right?
Right. Right.
Kelly shoots the door and it starts spraying blood.
Yeah.
And the blonde hiker is like, "Oh my god, is that the old man's blood?" And Kelly goes, "No, that's the cabin with us fucking with us."
Yeah.
How did she know that?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe Ash had talked to her about it. I mean, I don't know how much
We
he
don't get
filled
it, but
them in.
see, I would
Yeah.
be okay with that, except for between the last I'm wanting to say at least 3 episodes.
Yeah.
There's been no time jumps in between the cuts, right?
Right. It's all been.
It's been a thing has happened,
boom,
stop.
boom.
A thing has happened, stop. A thing has happened, stop.
Yeah.
So it's been very like back end to back end. So I just don't know where he would have done that. Now, maybe you could imply that he gave him a rundown of the cabin on the way to the cabin.
Yeah. Like that's kind of what I would assume.
Right.
But so perhaps, but we didn't see it. We didn't see
Yeah.
any sort of. So yeah. Plus, also, I mean, she's seen enough weird shit. Maybe she's at a point where she's starting to put it together
Maybe,
better.
but I just
like,
don't know that they've
what to
ever seen
expect.
an actual like building fucking with him.
Right. No, it's been dolls and.
But anyway,
people. Yeah.
Kelly takes this all in some really good stride. And while I
Yeah.
have problems with the fact that she instantly knows that this cabin's fucking with him,
Yeah.
I am perfectly willing to set that down, that complaint aside,
Right.
for what it allows to happen with Kelly's character.
Yes. Yes.
Because God damn it, she needed it.
Yeah.
So they shorthand her they shorthand her knowing this thing about the cabin, but in response to that, she grabs an axe.
Yep.
And now every time the cabin just starts fucking with him, she's not having it.
Nope.
She's just hitting whatever the thing is with the axe. She's just like,
Yes.
nope, we're not doing this anymore. And I'm like, thank Christ.
And eyes in the wall, and she hits it with the axe.
Yep, she doesn't give a fuck.
Not a fuck. Nope.
Not one given.
Yeah, she is done with this shit.
And that's when the cabin decides that it's had enough of her shit.
Yeah.
And beats the hell out of her. And
It does. Like the trap door pops up and slams her against the steel.
the basement door flies up, hits her, knocks her sideways, and then the front door flings open and
Oh,
smashes
that
her
was
ass
it.
back outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cabin was just like, I don't know what is up with this bitch, but it is
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Outside with you.
Yep.
And won't let her back in.
And it
Ugh.
seals up, and in response, Kelly just loses her shit,
Oh, yeah.
and she gets mad.
She does. She's just like, fuck you. Are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's
And-
trying to get back in while the cabin is just really fucking around with blonde chick.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's being like tossed around.
Yeah.
She's getting nails thrown at her face, and then they're coming out of the fucking
floor where
Floor.
she steps.
yep.
Yep. And Kelly can't get in to save her.
Not whatsoever. And then she gets sucked into a room with like red light.
Yeah. That was it for blonde chick.
Yeah, she's toast.
because Kelly's at the door at that
So
point.
there was one part we had to ding on this.
Oh yeah, yep,
They show the blonde hiker getting tossed against the window from
right.
outside, from Kelly's point of view, from outside the cabin.
Yes.
And then she gets jerked away from the window, and then blood
Just floods the
just
window, just
spatter-
splatters
yeah,
all
it's
over
just like it's an arterial spray. Like,
Right.
Like just spatters the window. And we're both like, well, that was the end of that chick.
Yep. And
And
then
it cuts
we
inside, and she has like no new injuries.
no, she's just kind of on the ground. She's crawling away from the couch as it's
And then she
approaching
gets
her.
really fucked up.
Yeah,
And that's fine, but that
Yeah,
amount of blood on that window.
that first one. And I wonder, like thinking back, because at the time I was like, "There's no way that she lost that much blood and is still alive."
survived. None whatsoever.
And again, like you said, there were no new wounds. But I almost wonder if since the cabin kind of fucks around with blood anyway, maybe it was just
So as we were kind of describing this that's kind of what I was just
Yeah.
thinking is I wonder if the cabin's just like, fuck you, bitch, you're not allowed to look
you don't
inside.
get to see what's happening. You can just hear her scream,
right.
and it's
So
blinding.
that's one
Okay.
way. That's
Yeah.
one way of interpreting it, I
Yeah.
think. But
I'm willing to give him a pass on that then, with that kind of in mind.
I will, but that was not clear at all, fellas.
Right? Yeah, it definitely was meant to look like. I mean, it looked like her blood at first.
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
took us out of it for a moment.
It
That's-
did.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway.
So she gets sucked into the room with the red light. Then Kelly notices just a shit ton of blood coming from underneath the door.
Yes.
And then the door flings open, and out comes the blonde hiker chick.
Yep. Among
And-
a flood of blood and
and
pieces.
She is just in all kinds of pieces.
Yeah, she got shredded up.
Now, one thing we are doing is we're not jumping back and forth like the episode does. We're kind of
We're
telling
not,
the
yeah.
stories all in one chunk.
And kind of probably in an order of importance.
I
Yeah.
would say so, yeah, because this all of this stuff is just basically a reason why Kelly is not in the basement with.
Yes. And it's kind of her like trial by cabin that Ash went through very much so while she's up there alone.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
she doesn't have Pablo to kind of break the tension because he's usually like the idiot that makes her smile or something when things are
Right.
bad. She doesn't have Ash to fight for her. So in this,
Right.
yeah, so it's her versus this cabin, and she is doing marvelous.
Oh, yes.
I absolutely loved her in this episode for
Yep.
the first time. I liked her. I always liked her more than Pablo because Pablo is just
Cringe. He's
Pablo.
cringe.
You're the worst.
Yeah, he's very cringy.
Yeah, he is. But there might be some changes coming ahead of that.
Yes.
And also, let's just take a real side moment. What the fuck are they doing with the Bruja character? What the hell was that all about?
my
Like, God damn it.
I'm with you.
Everything that character touched has turned to shit.
Seriously, like that medallion that he gives them
Right? That's supposed to be like for protection or divination or,
something, yeah.
what in the fuck ever.
attracted the book right to him.
Right to
and
him.
then
and
the mask.
dragged him to the book.
Yeah, like holy shit. His uncle has not even in the episodes he was in. I was kind of like, okay, medallion. At least they got something good out of
Right?
it.
No, he fucked him.
No, big time.
Absolutely
What the
fucked.
hell?
Absolutely fucked him. Given that medallion.
Like, and I'm super interested in like this sort of like the umbrella of things that the Brujo would fall under, religion and ritual and occultism and
yeah,
stuff.
sure. That
like, just
also
played out.
that helps flesh out kind of the mythology of
It
this
does,
world. How does magic
yes.
happen? What is the paranormal like? Like these
Right.
are all things. Because all we ever get for references with the paranormal in this world is the Deadites, but there
Right.
has to be a counterbalance.
Yes.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Like, man, I am just really disappointed in how all that stuff is played out. Like, to me, that's really very disappointing.
I would say that's probably the greater sin that
Yeah.
they've committed
Yeah.
in this.
Because they could have set up something else about now. Maybe they've got season 2 plans that I don't know about that might kind of tie this in.
Yes.
together.
Everybody just remember
That
that
could be
this
allowed
we
for.
have not like explored into the other
Yeah.
seasons. But
Yeah,
as
we're
it
fresh.
currently stands,
Yeah.
they have shit on that character and then they shit on him some more.
Right.
Because like even the decision he made
Yeah. Just
bites them in the ass.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
So, and I think that was actually in the episode before that, but we didn't get to talk about it.
No, we didn't.
And I
but
just,
there's
that
a-
was such a glaring, like we both, when we were watching that episode, we both were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Seriously. Like, why then? Why would you do that to your nephew? Fuck.
Right, like why
Yeah.
would you give him
Jesus. Unless you didn't know, in which case, like, man.
It's just even more. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no matter
I don't
how
like
you
it.
no matter how you slice it, that character of the Bruja or whatever the
Yeah.
hell he was called was just an absolute
Yeah.
moron.
Like, I remember when they first were talking about him because they were talking about him before we met him.
Yes,
And I was really excited about
Me
that.
too.
I was like, this is going to be fucking cool.
indeed. I
And-
thought he was going to be the highly technical character that Ash was somehow or another going to get killed.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But would have, like, been a major use against the evil because of all of his
Right,
knowledge
or at least he
and
could have been.
power.
Yeah, they give
Something.
him that.
Mm,
So even thinking on it now, like the vision that they get that he got Ash
right. To go back to the cabin and bury it.
doesn't seem to be correct either.
Right. This Jacksonville, Florida stuff is like what? Oh, well. Oh, now we're getting ahead of ours.
Right,
I'll get
but
ahead of
I'm just
ourselves, but
saying,
yeah,
like without
just none of it-
touching it yet,
Yeah.
like the vision seems to be bullshit as well.
Right. You're right. It really is. Like, man, I don't
know what the I don't know
That's
what
a shame. Yeah.
I don't know what the point of that character was because that's definitely not how they
Yeah.
framed him when he was in the show.
Right. Yeah.
But I digress.
Yes.
Anyway, so
Kelly's locked outside of the cabin now.
Yeah,
and
but
dealing
she's-
with its shit.
and she's told by the
Defiant
head.
as fuck.
Yeah, and she's told by the head of the hiker chick that Ash has failed. And don't worry, guys,
Yeah.
we'll get back and we'll cover like, oh,
Yeah,
by the
we're
way,
gonna backtrack to Ash.
we'll rewind and then kind of tell you where this part all falls together.
Yes.
It's just easier to tell it this way because
A lot happened.
there was a lot that happened, and this episode definitely was like 5 minutes over here, 3 minutes over there, 5 minutes over here,
Right.
3 minutes over there.
Yeah.
So
a lot going on in rapid succession that we had to go between.
So
Yeah.
she's told that Ash has failed and that this blonde deadite is laughing at Kelly, and Kelly decides that she is absolutely like from top to bottom has had enough of this shit, and she gets a can of gas. Because she even stands up and looks at the cabin. She's like, "It's just me and you now."
Yeah,
I'm just
and
like,
that was a cool shot.
It
Too.
was.
She's
Oh, yeah,
just covered in blood and the
Yeah.
water from the sink. All right,
so
go
she
Kelly.
she grabs a can. Well, I kind of questioned this though. It worked, but I was like, "Whoa." She grabs a can of gas,
And she's like, "What do you think of that?"
and I was like,
bitch?"
"Well, yeah." She's like, she goes, "What now?" And I was like, "Well, now your friends are trapped inside a burning cabin." So I'm not real sure that was a good idea.
She was very much in fuck it mode.
She
She's like,
was.
yeah.
She was not. She did. And it
Yeah.
wasn't something that I'm pretty sure it wasn't something that they just forgot. I think they were
Right.
just electing the fact that Kelly's just like, fuck this.
Yeah. No, she's like, all right, I'm going to just tip the board over if we're going to play it
Right.
this rough.
If this is
yeah.
the way, if this is the way that things are going to be.
Yeah.
But it works in the cabin.
Cabin opens up.
Opens up.
Yeah, it's
and
like
she,
fine.
and she runs inside.
Yep.
So let's
Backtrack.
let's rewind back to Ash.
Back to Ash in the basement. He's just had this kind of vision offer deal with Ruby, and now he's back in the basement. He's checking it out. He starts hearing Ruby's voice, and eventually even
Pablo's like
yeah.
he's kind of jumping back and forth between screaming and retching and then repeating what Ruby's saying.
repeating her like Latin incantations.
Yeah, and when he's like yelling for help or he's retching or wincing in pain, it's his voice. But
Yeah.
then when he's repeating the incantations, it's
this very demonic voice. It's
Yeah.
the Necronomicon, I think.
it is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Ash is peeking through the.
Yep, he's creeped
the
up on
door.
and he's kind of trying to get his bearings, and he's watching as Pablo vomits out a demon baby,
Yes, he does. He vomits
complete
out
with
a-
an ambiotic sac.
yes, which it then tears out of and just looks creepy as fuck.
These little
Jesus.
black, like what, like maybe
Like
9 or
black-eyed,
10-year-old kids that
Yeah.
have like no eyes and they're
gray, awful looking,
Sharp teeth.
horrible skin, and yeah,
and she tells it to, I'm assuming, like spread out because
Yeah.
it jumps through the ceiling basically and
Yeah.
digs out of the dirt and vanishes.
yeah. It's like something Exitus or something. Like
Yeah.
she's just telling it, okay,
Totally.
now fan out. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm assuming that Pablo vomits up more.
Right, because it turns out that there are more than one of these.
More than
things.
one of these things.
Yeah,
Right,
So I
and
think
s-
this has been a birthing process. Almost
Right.
of
So
multiple.
as Ash is psyching himself up to go in there and bust up this party, one of the little demon babies comes up behind him,
yes,
and then we get Ash versus a baby.
yes, that was cool, and they
I like an 8 or 9.
yeah, but it's like called Demon Baby or Demon Spawn or
Yeah,
he calls it
a demon baby. Creepy
Yeah.
baby.
And I liked the shot like leading up to it because it was almost like that whether or not to see the bomb under the table thing in miniature.
Right.
He's psyching himself up, and we see it behind him over his shoulder, just walking up, and then it kind of disappears,
Appears
and he's still
behind him,
talking.
yep.
Yeah,
and then it jumps on his back.
yep, and starts attacking him. He eventually
It actually puts up a really good
pretty
fight.
good fight.
Fucks
Yeah,
him up.
yeah, fucks him up pretty good. Threatens his genitalia at one point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he just shoves his shotgun down his mouth.
Yes, gets his one-liner in, lifts it up off the ground by
Yep,
that
he says somebody
shotgun.
needs a washer, maybe me.
Bam!
Bam, and just basically,
Blows the whole body off of it.
yep, to where the head is just still hanging onto the barrel.
Slings that off. Oh. And then
And then he busts in
busts in and interrupts Ruby's rituals.
and fills her full of holes.
Yeah.
He doesn't wait.
Nope.
He just
Ash. Yeah.
and then he unloads 4 shots into her.
Yep. Bam, bam,
Bam.
bam, bam.
Yep, takes the time to reload.
She's
puts
up
him-
against the wall.
Yep. And that's
Not
when
dead yet.
no, she's not.
She's not. She's hurt, it seems. She's
Yep.
down.
And Ash starts kind of waxing poetic a little bit.
Yep. And she says something in Latin, and then Pablo starts attacking him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he's fighting with Pablo, and that's when Kelly
Yes.
joins us. She comes in and pulls, because through the whole thing, Ash is trying not to fight Pablo, and
Mhm.
Pablo's telling him like, hey,
You're gonna have to kill
you're
me.
gonna have to kill me.
Yeah.
I can't control myself, and
Yeah.
and Ash is actually refusing to do it. He's
He
like, I'm
is.
not losing anyone else.
Yeah, and it gets to the point where I think he's pulling the chainsaw towards his
Yeah.
own head.
Yeah, in the fight, yep, they get to where
Pablo
Ash is on top of Pablo, and Pablo is actually trying to pull his chainsaw arm into
Down
his
on-
own neck. And,
Yeah,
and
begging him
Ash
to decapitate him until the chainsaw stops. And I like
runs
this.
out of gas.
He's like, "Ha! You forgot to remind me
To gas her up.
gas her up."
"You beautiful moron."
It's just always someone else's fault. When it's, even if it works out in his favor,
Right.
If it's a mistake, it can't be Ash, not to Ash. Oh, yep.
So at this point, the shotgun shells are healing.
Yes,
The shotgun.
Ruby's
Ruby's
healing up.
healing.
She gets up.
And that's when Kelly runs in.
Yes.
Kelly starts fighting with Pablo so that
Yep.
Ash can deal with Ruby.
Right. And he starts getting his clock cleaned by Ruby pretty good.
Yep, as he has through this like whole thing.
Right.
They've made it very clear that when it comes to a one-on-one
Yeah.
fight, Ash and Ruby are not on the same level.
No, not at all. She's Xena if Xena were some sort of demon queen. It's
Right.
amazing.
Oh yeah. Lucy Lawless is fabulous.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Lucy Lawless? God damn. But so Kelly actually gets up on the losing end of this, and Pablo is strangling her to death.
Yeah.
When Ash grabs the Kandarian dagger.
Yes, because Ruby's like, this book is going to need a new face, and she starts carving
Ash's face.
Ash's face.
And he gets indignant
Yeah.
about her attacking his face.
Yeah, he's just like, not the face. Are you kidding me? And that gives him the extra boost he needs.
Yep, to
get
grab the dagger from her.
from
And he starts actually hurting her.
Yes.
And he's just like, oh, I guess your
Yeah.
invulnerability doesn't apply to this thing.
Yeah, this isn't a mortal toy now, is it? Yeah. And so
s-
he's got her at knife point.
Right. And
and-
she offers him that deal again.
Yeah, holds up the
Because-
poster for
Yep. He finally gets her to a point where he's like, I can kill you. And she's like, well, if you kill me, then done.
it. Yeah.
She offers him the deal again with going to Jacksonville, forget everything. And surprisingly enough,
I couldn't believe this.
Ash actually starts negotiating with her.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
like,
He's like, okay,
not just
a
me.
truce sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true,
not
but
just me. Yep.
Pablo and Kelly as well.
So
The whole time they build it up as if it's going to be kind of an Ash double cross,
I
right?
thought
Like
it was
I
gonna
thought
be a
for sure
trick.
he was going to wait for her to pull the thing off Pablo's face and then stab
and
her.
that's what I thought. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought he was going to do. But that's not what happened.
That's not what happens.
No.
He takes the deal.
He does. He takes the deal, and she honors it.
She
Kelly
does.
and Pablo are in the car with them when we he takes that postcard, and then the screen
Right.
flashes
Yeah.
light.
Because Ruby presents the same argument that like every tyrant does, right? Like it's better for me to be in charge.
Yeah.
I will do it correctly.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is kind of flubbed up.
And he's kind of like, okay, you're going to be the gatekeeper,
Right,
of
and we're
these-
like,
yeah,
right. Even though
He's like,
she's
"The world's kinda messed up
already
anyway."
freed at least 4 of those fucking things. So
Right.
she's not much in the realm of gatekeeping.
and
I
he
must
already
say.
and he already knows like she's trying to let this shit out into the world, all of it.
Yeah, her argument was always kind of contradictory because
Yeah.
she's like, I want my children free, but I also want them under control and order. And you're like,
Right.
well, that's not freedom.
Yeah, her story keeps changing to him. It's whatever's convenient. Because when in the prior episode when they first met, she's like, "Okay, to destroy it, we have to do this."
Yes.
And then during the thing, even before she double crosses him, she was like, just surrender ownership of it to me.
Right,
And it's like,
I-
well, wait a minute.
Yep.
You were saying
and she
destroy.
even said,
Now
like,
it's own control.
right. And she even, I think a few times she even said like she wants to kind of put everything back in order.
Right. The world is chaos, and I want it to be in order. But this is some pretty chaotic shit. I
Right,
don't know.
like,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
So
Maybe
he,
she does. Maybe she will bring order to the evil, like
So-
Ash seems to think. she
so
will.
he takes the deal with
Yep.
gas money
With gas money.
'cause that was fucking important.
Yep. And now suddenly they're in the car and they're
Driving away, Pablo and Kelly are pissed.
Yeah, they can't believe he took that deal either, and
Yep.
so am I. Like I got pretty pissed off at that.
Right. And
That
as
made me
they're
pretty
driving
pissed.
away, they hear a news report that says that there are sinkholes appearing all over the county. Ash actually like shuts it off.
Yeah, he's like, nope, not our
Not
problem.
my problem.
and
And as they're driving away, one of those sinkholes appears behind them,
just right behind him, and
and Ash just turns up the radio and drives away.
off they go. And that was it. That was the end of season 1. The end. That was the finale.
That was the finale of season 1.
Oh man, that was crazy.
It was.
I-
This show continues to be a mixed bag for me.
Yeah, you do have a bit of a love-hate with it, don't you?
The things that I like about this show, I really like, but the things that I hate just really piss me
Right.
off.
Right.
But I have a lot more hope going into season 2.
Yeah, so do I. I like what they've done with Kelly's character.
Right. I yes, they did that. They made Kelly a much more of a badass.
Yeah.
Pablo actually goes in from being kind of this wimpy kid to now he's like, nope, kill me. You got to kill me. You
That's
gotta do it."
true. He did go. Yeah.
Yep. He's like,
yeah.
there are worse things out there. It's not like, and
Yeah.
you had a scene with Pablo and Kelly sitting next to each other in a car. There wasn't a scrap of romance.
And they weren't talking about the romantic subplot.
They weren't.
Yeah. It was
For like the first time ever.
now they have something interesting.
now
yeah.
it's still a net zero. It's
Yeah.
still because Ash was in the car with him. We'll see what happens. So next
Right,
time they're
you're
by
right.
themselves, we'll
Yeah.
fucking see. But
Yeah.
But they laid some groundwork there where it's like finally these guys are maybe getting something besides whether or not they are or aren't a thing. Because man, especially once the other hikers showed up earlier, like in the first two.
Oh, I know.
I was like, God damn it. Like, what is this? Like, why did Kelly tell that other lady that Pablo had a girl? How did that even come up right now?
Seriously. Like, why would you say that to a complete stranger about, like, what does any of that matter right now?
Right.
Are you
Like, the only
kidding
way
me?
I can
see
picture.
what you mean.
Yeah, the only way I can picture this conversation going down is if the blonde lady was like, oh, you guys are really nice. She's like, he's got a girlfriend.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, what?
Just.
I'm sure she didn't ask.
Right.
So, I really wish they would just drop this romantic subplot between them. Like, fuck. It comes at the most inappropriate times. It's boring as fuck, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it never, I mean, there's so many shows and movies where it just doesn't, though. Especially shows like are running. The problem with series, because I love them because there's so much time you can use to develop your characters. But like, there's this old formula that still sticks out, the sitcom formula, where it's like you can't actually grow the characters because people may or may not catch it next week. So you need to be consistent with that. And those days are gone. Those days are gone. We binge watch now. Give us the development that's more interesting than this stupid will they, won't they bullshit.
Well, I mean, and also it's just like, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but like when you are like, there's shows where that works, and then there's shows where you're just like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and you're right, because there's way more interesting stuff to explore here.
Right. Like if it's a show that is is about the day to day.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
Even procedural crime shows.
Yeah.
Fine, because it's still rooted in normal life. You still have your day to days. This is about demons coming from hell through a book. They're like,
I know.
They're wiping, and it's not just like a localized story. They're wiping out restaurants. They're sinking holes in the entire town. Like, there is a huge thing going on. There's barely enough time for them in an episode to sit down and talk to one another.
Right. And that's what they choose.
But that's what they choose to use.
No, and I get you. And honestly, it kind of makes them look selfish in a way that I don't think the show intends.
Right. Yeah, because
like
it's like
Ash,
you're only focused on yourselves.
Right. And that's Ash's job.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
he is
his
a selfish guy from the get-go.
We need some sort of antithesis to that. And I know that that's what the writers want these characters to be. But as long as they're like, her parents are dead, his uncle is dead.
Right.
Like,
they've seen so much horrific shit here.
The fact that that's the most prominent thing on their mind.
And this has been
is kind of,
I
get you.
One of the things to kind of keep in mind is this has been days.
Yeah. It hasn't been very long since it's all started going down. No, I get you.
I really would, and that's why I said, like, the writing with Ash is great. Like, the actual story, I like. I'm down.
Oh,
I'm down.
The overall plot, like, this dark one hunting Ash.
Yeah, right. Like, she's the writer of the book. She's trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
We're not really sure what she's trying to do right now, but whatever it is, it's not good.
Right.
No, and Ash pretty much performs the way you would expect Ash to perform. He's oddly competent while being a moron. Like, she says one time, she's like, you just bring a host of incompetence. I'm like, well, I don't think that's strictly true.
Right.
I think he's doing really good for being an S-smart type guy.
Seriously. Yeah. Exactly. He's and that's what I love about him. He's a Joe Schmo that just is like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm your guy.
Right.
Let's do this shit.
Yep, it's by his sheer cockiness and a little bit of personal vendetta.
Is able to. So he just, of course, did.
Which what makes him accepting the deal is so shocking.
That's what I'm having a hard time with. Like, I get that Ash is kind of a selfish guy, and he was less selfish by making sure his friends were, like we know that, like, he really fucking cares about these people.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I would like. What would make, and I probably won't get it, and I get why I wouldn't get it, because Ash is one that developing him would be hard.
Right.
Because his kind of shitty personality is such a hallmark of the character.
Yeah.
But what would make me feel better is in the next episode, they're driving away, and like Pablo and Kelly are giving him hell. And he's just like, listen, this is the only way that I can make sure that we're all good and safe.
Yeah.
Because I could get behind that, where Ash is like, because Ash doesn't really care about a lot of people.
No, and he never has.
If anybody at all. Right. And other than his girlfriend, fiance, whatever the hell she was.
Right.
Like, you've never really gotten, now, what I don't remember Evil Dead a whole lot. So I might be forgetting one or two. Actually, I think he might have developed kind of a crush there in Evil Dead. or Army of Darkness, I mean.
Okay.
But by and large, Ash is shown to not be like a caring guy.
Right.
So if it's like, no, I care about you two, but not
Not the rest. Yeah.
not the rest, and I did what I had to do to make sure that we were safe. I can get behind that and see where Ash would make that kind of decision.
Right. So that's the thing. It's not a decision I liked for him to make, but it's not like it's an inconsistent decision.
Well, that depends.
Just
So
hoped for a little better.
I would say that it is inconsistent if they don't address it, because
Oh,
what we
I
just
see.
saw in
Yeah.
that last episode, he was like, "Nope, this is not about my life anymore.
yeah.
Like I'm not losing anyone else." Like
Right.
he had several speeches, small speeches, I'll grant you, but he had several moments in the episode where he acknowledges that it's bigger than him,
Right.
and then at the end he kind of makes this, "Oh no, I'm going to Jacksonville and I'm retiring." So it's
Yeah.
like, if they touched that, he had more reason behind that and there was more to his decision. Great.
Right.
If they don't, that is completely contradictory to everything they showed us about Ash in this last episode.
Right. Well, there you go. I mean, I don't really have a strong argument against that. So it's like, yeah, because I did not like the way that this ended. I did not like the way that this episode ended at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I don't know that because,
Yeah.
and maybe that's their point, is we've never seen him quit.
Right. Yeah. That is what it is. He's never backed down before.
No.
Even at the end of everything. Well, and I haven't seen Army of Darkness yet, but like everything else I've seen has been very much like he sees it through to the end. And like,
Well, now that you know that the story,
Right.
continues, like he
He
retires
hangs on.
because it's like done. He thought it was done.
yeah, he thought it was done. And he didn't really quit because he still has that Necronomicon under his protection.
He has the shotgun that's rigged to
Yeah.
shoot up if he needs it.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, he's retired, but he didn't quit.
Right. Yes.
He just thought he didn't quit before.
And so that's what makes this. Yeah. And that's probably what's rubbing me the wrong way about it. Because like I'm down with the evil getting out at the end of season 1.
Absolutely. Like
that-
you have to go
yeah.
somewhere.
Cool. Like give me that cliffhanger for season, set up season 2. Perfect.
I completely agree.
But the way it happened, I just don't like. I really thought he was going to pull a tricky one on Ruby.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't have a reason to trust her.
I will give them a chance to kind of explain
Yeah.
himself.
Right.
But if they don't,
Then,
I'm not going to like that.
right.
It's not going to be like it's not going to be a deal breaker or anything. It's not like I won't
Right.
watch the rest of the season.
Of course,
because
but-
clearly that's not what happens, right?
Right.
He tries it. It doesn't,
Yeah,
it doesn't stick.
We don't have 2 more seasons of him chilling
Chilling
on the
in
beach.
Jacksonville,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm fine with going forward, but they had best explain him.
Yeah, that
Taking
last
that deal.
decision, because that's a big decision.
That was a huge decision.
Yeah. So there you go.
So that is our
Our
take.
thoughts on it.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag.
It
for
is
me.
a mixed bag. Yeah. What do you think about this episode? What's your 5 out of 5 here? Or your out of 5?
So I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of Gratefully Dead Detectives.
You are so happy to see that
Oh
character.
my god, I can't
Oh,
like the only way I can and I want to make this excruciatingly clear. I actually thought the actress did a good job. My complaint is solely in the writing.
Yeah, the writing of her character.
But it's like
is
if
what-
you've ever
yeah,
had a
but-
hemorrhoid and it just goes away, you're like, ah, it doesn't. It's not like it was ruining your life, but it's just so much more comfortable.
But her acting was really good. She was
It
very-
was, yeah. There was nothing wrong with her
delivery is amazing.
performance. They just wrote that character like dog shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it 4.5 because I loved
4.5.
what they did with Kelly and what they implied was happening with Pablo.
Cool. Okay.
But I'm going to give a big fat asterisk. I reserve the right to go back in after once we're into the next season.
Yeah.
If these things do not manifest themselves into actual character change, I'm going to come back in and this is going to be a nice solid 3.
Okay. Well, there you go. A 3 out of 5. Gratefully
It's
Dead.
4.5.
4.5. 4.5.
If they pay off these changes.
That's right. Okay. No, I think that's fair.
But a 3 if they don't.
And the retribution on future episodes will be
Yeah. Oh my God. So if you don't and I'm just warning everybody now, if you guys don't think that I'm going to remember these changes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
as we watch the next seasons, if they don't fucking pay off, I'm going to point out exactly how they don't pay off. Because I really enjoyed what they were looking like they were
yeah.
doing with this.
Yeah. I get you.
So if they don't capitalize on it, I'm going to be one fucking mad panda.
please don't piss off Ben. Show that was already filmed and produced.
Yeah, I mean,
that I
like,
haven't seen yet.
Right, like I haven't seen.
I've got my fingers crossed. I'm like,
Right.
oh God.
Well,
please.
my thing is like, why? Like, I hate when it appears like shows stumbled onto something good
Yeah.
and don't recognize it. It's like, come on, show me that you're more competent than that. So yeah,
do better. Think. Apply your brain.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
There we go.
It's-
Sorry. I guess do better is a reference to something now, isn't it? But,
Yeah, do
yeah.
better has become kind of a battle cry for lazy people. Do
So-
better? How? I don't know. And maybe that's okay.
no.
Looking at you, Falcon.
No,
no, you're
boy.
not Captain
Oh,
America.
here
You
we
are
go.
Falcon.
Oh crap.
Anyway,
So my rating.
that's why I'm a ranter. I can't
You
help it.
are. No, it's why the people love you.
I don't
our
think they
listeners.
do. except for that one girl that keeps tuning into my episodes. I will lead you down the path of righteousness.
Oh,
Continue to
God.
listen.
Oh God. Teach and be taught.
Anyway, Eric, what do you think?
So
Where's you fall on this?
oh man, that ending really knocked it down. So right off the bat with an ending like that, the way that they brought the evil into the world, I cannot give it a 5 out of 5.
Right.
And we're gonna go with Necronomicon masks. 5, out of 5 Necronomicon masks.
Okay.
Can't give it a 5 because I just don't like that ending at all. Honestly, it's worth 2 nicks for me, but like I
Ooh,
fucking
that's a big
love.
nick.
But I loved what they did with Kelly. I'm with you. The
Right.
Kelly stuff was pretty amazing, and of course, Ash is just consistently on point with
Right.
this shit. Like
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
The writing with Ash is always
Yeah.
consistently good. So I
Yeah.
usually don't factor that in too much.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bump it back up, and I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
Necronomicon masks. So, but Kelly and Ash saved this one. I was not happy with. Well, Ash's performance up until the end was
Right.
just not sure about that decision. That really bothers me. I hope it
Yeah,
pays off.
it's a rough pill to kind of
That
swallow
was,
in kind of just the ancillary, the fact that it's the
right,
not taking comfort in the fact that clearly there's more episodes.
right,
But-
right. Yeah.
Boy,
So-
you know what? Can you imagine watching that like before the other episodes were out? And you're just like,
just having to wait for season 2.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Oh man.
especially if season 2 hadn't been confirmed yet.
Right.
You're like, oh, if this is
If
how
that might
if
be
this
all
is,
we get.
oh my god,
Boy.
I would be furious.
Yeah.
And
Man.
that's so ballsy doesn't mean smart,
That's true.
but that was a ballsy way to end it. If
It
you
was.
weren't guaranteed a season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Like they put a lot of faith in Craig Baloney there. Ouch. Sorry, Craig. Oh, does that mean we should end the show? Should we end the show?
So anyway, I gave it a 4.5
4.5.
just because I was relieved that Kelly was finally getting some stuff, and not just some stuff. She rocked this episode.
She did. Oh man, she sure did.
So 4.5 for me.
Go,
and a
girl.
4 for you.
Yep.
All right.
There we go. There you have it. That's our take on the season 1 finale of Ash versus Evil Dead. Cannot wait to get into season 2.
Yeah, you
Not sure when we're going to start that up,
you
but
guys got some work to do.
yes, and I'm hoping for the best.
Right on.
Yeah. All right. I've been Eric.
I'm Ben.
Check us out on all our things. Just look up @CultTalkNet, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, not Patreon,
Not Rumble.
not Rumble,
Not Rumble, not
Rumble,
Patreon.
not Patreon. And Ian's still alone on Reddit somewhere.
As of the time of
Yeah.
recording,
Yep. So
Ian is still all by himself for the weird shit in the Discord.
Yep.
Or is it Discord or Reddit?
I think Reddit. I'm not
Reddit.
sure that there's a Discord. I don't think there's a
Maybe.
Discord.
Yeah,
Discord
So-
might be good.
maybe.
Yeah,
That's something to look
Talk
into.
to
But
people about
yeah, he's
stuff.
over there by himself on Reddit, and
Yeah.
like it just affects his tisms. So help him out, would you?
Please, for our sake. All right.
And we can't do content that they want to hear if they don't let us know what they want to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we always want to hear what you think.
Yeah,
because we
we'll
wanna,
listen.
Yeah, we will. We'll listen, and then you'll listen.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll wrap this up.
Yep. We'll wrap this up. Stay
Ah.
groovy.
Wrap. Damn it.
Hail to the king, baby. That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.